We actually have, I kid you not, a Spyral control deck. We have Gold Pride. Man, those are two things that you want to hear for deck profiles. Alright, for the 30% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button, please, little heart diamond, smash it so you guys don't miss out. More awesome content. The first list we're going to be looking at here is, I kid you not, a first place finish for none other than Spyral. You know, I'm glad to see this deck in a little bit more controlling manner is able to kind of do some things in this format. It's not a pick that I would have put on my bingo sheet, you know, with Master Plan being gone, but still cool nonetheless to see that we're doing something out here. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's all I can really hope for out here. So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring with your 2 copies of Fenrir. We have 2 Space Rocks with triple copies of Spyral Gear Drone. We have 1 Last Resort with 1 Quick Fix. We have 1 Sleepy Lad with triple copies of Super Agent. And then we have 1 copy of How Tough Are You? And we have the 1 Arby's Feather Duster with your 2 Lightning Storm, your 1 copy of 1 for 1. Triple copies of Pot of Prosperity with your 1 Rhoda. We have 2 copies of the Spyral Big Red with 1 Fully Armored. We have triple copies of Spyral Resort with 1 Terraforming. We have 2 Infinite Impermanents with triple copies of Solemn Stee Reich. We have 2 Utility Wire and 2 Rescue. And then we're playing 2 copies of Underworld Goddess. That's very interesting. Triple copies of Double Helix, 2 copies of Lingeribo. We have 2 IPs, 1 Borreload, 2 Apollosa, 1 Axis Code Talker, 1 Princess Sprite, and 1 Baguski. And we have 1 Druisworm with 2 Magna Hut, triple copies of Gamma Seal, 2 Book of Eclipse, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Thrust, and 2 copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up. Well, I don't even know what to really say about this. The fact that, like, yeah, obviously, like, Spyral full combo, double helix, you know, get the call right on this, go ahead and capitalize through this package, is very, very interesting. No other real words here. Next up is Punk Gold Pride. Ah, man. I knew it was a matter of time until somebody out here was like, hey, you know, we can do something. You know, Goaty was able to take advantage, and even on like its subparts was able to score some wins, and it's kind of like the TCG archetype exclusive experience. I feel like is like the deck needs to be good enough to be able to at least top a local. And I feel like that's what Konami aims to do with the particulars of some of these decks. Is like, oh, if it can win the locals, it's good. Not entirely, but it's something. And then the whole gimmick for this deck is you're going to use your Punk cards to pay life, and then you're going to, you know, go up through these cards that basically require to be lower life in order to capitalize and make plays. It works. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have 1 copy of the Wagon with 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. We have triple copies of Captain Carey, triple copies of Leon, and then 2 copies of Nitro Head. This card is all right in my opinion. We have 1 Madam Spider with triple Fenrir. If you've noticed, Fenrir has kind of shown up more in the control decks. We have triple Nibiru, 2 copies of Deer Note with 2 Foxy Tomb. We have 1 Ogre Dance with triple copies of ZMM. 1 Wielder with 2 copies of the Shurakatsai, 1 Called by the Grave, triple Teleport, your 1 copy of Extreme Session, 1 Starcher Engines, triple Infinite Permanents, and 1 copy of the Dangerous Gabu. We have 1 Unicorn with 1 IP, your 1 Nitro Blaster, 1 Axis Machine, 1 Amazing Dragon with 1 Trishula, 1 Psychic End Punisher, 1 Jam Dragon Drive, 1 Navy Dragon Mech, 1 copy of Barkion, your 1 Goyo Guardian, your 1 Star Leon, your 1 Draco Berserker, 1 Baron, and your 1 Rising Carbon. You got 2 Book of Lunar Eclipse, triple Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Feather Dust for triple Lightning Storm, triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of Solemn Stee Reich here, wrapping up Gold Pride shenanigans. Next up here is Blackwings. Well, we're Blackwings with Wing Requital? If all monsters you control are Wing Beast monsters, you can control at least 2 monsters with different original names. Pay 600 life points, draw 2 cards. You know, maybe these sorts of decks should give some consideration to playing this, because it seems pretty good to me. I mean, this is just kind of free draw power for this deck at the end of the day, so maybe we've all been just missing out this entire time. It's a pretty cool deck choice. So one copy of Oster the Southwind, triple copies of Bora the Spear, with one Snow Blast. We have 2 copies of Gale the Whirlwind, with 1 Harmaton the Dust, your 1 copy of Chris the Crack of Dawn. We have 1 Orochi the Squall with triple copies of Shamal the Sandstorm, triple copies of Simone the Poison Wind, with your 1 Steam the Cloak. We have triple copies of Sudri, with triple copies of Vata. We have 1 Zephyros the Elite, 1 Soraneer, 1 Destrudo, your 1 Raider's Wing, and your 1 Silent Boots. And then we have the 1 Whirlwind, triple copies of Black Whirlwind with triple copies of Small World. Your 1 Rank Up Magic Launch. You got triple copies of Wing Requital and 1 Fog Blade. Then, of course, we have the 1 Rusty Bardiche, your 1 Weistrix, your 1 Arsenal Falcon with your 1 Kalaking Yuga, a 1 Mudmud, 1 Borreload Savage with your 1 Obsidian Hawk, 1 Flarmer, 1 Nuthung, 1 Graham the Shining Star, 1 Borrelstorm. Then we have the 1 Blackwing Dragon, 1 Super Blackwing Dragon, 1 Raikiri, and 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Then we have triple copies of Lancia, triple copies of Space Rock, triple Book of Eclipse, triple Dark Hole, and triple copies of Evenly Matched. Wrapping up, well, maybe not the craziest Blackwing deck you've seen, but you know what? This is going to get the job done out here in terms of the relatively cool deck department for sure. I want to see more Blackwings, like, especially with Wing Requital. That's kind of cool. Next up here is Tron. I see what we're doing here. My favorite magician of Black Chaos Max. Yeah, you contribute 1 monster. Your opponent can activate monster effects this turn. And a stupid thing destroys by something by battle. You can target a spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. I mean, that's just kind of the free real estate effect. I mean, just your entire plan is you roll this out, laugh at your opponent. Your opponent's going to look at you. You're going to look at your opponent, and you're going to go, get good, scrub. That's literally, I feel like, how you play Tron this format is just what your opponent's supposed to do. Well, not really a lot. So we have 1 copy of Artifact Lancia, 2 copies of Diviner of the Herald, with triple copies of the Alpha Thuban. We have 2 Delta Altius with 2 Gamma Eltanin. We have triple copies of Albia with triple copies of Lovagle. We have triple copies of Space Rock, 1 Vanity's Ruler with triple copies of Ben 10. We have the 1 Natasha, we have 1 Draconis, and we have 1 Magician of Black Chaos. And then we have triple copies of Cyber Emergency, 2 copies of Fafnir, triple copies of Drytron Nova with 2 copies of Metanos Drytron. We have 2 copies of Preparation of Rites and 2 copies of Talents. Then we have 1 Lingaribo with 1 Lingoribo. Then we have 1 Herald of Mirage Lights, 1 Dynamondo, 2 Dynamondo. We have 1 Borrelsword, 1 copy of the Fucho, 2 copies of Beta Fafnir, 1 Downer with 2 Zeus. We have 1 Beatrice, 1 Herald, and 1 Anantis. And then our side deck here is 2 Lancia, triple Ash Blossom, 2 Book of Eclipse, 2 Twin Twisters, triple Dimensional Barrier, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here. Wrapping up Drytron Special. Dynamondo here is turned into a particularly super cool card right now. A lot more players are really giving some consideration to playing this, and it's actually kind of stick around. I'm actually kind of happy to see that. Next up here is Hero. Wow. I will say that Hero's board breaking potential overall, the things that this deck kind of has to go through the point. Oh wait, Wake Up Your Elemental Hero's on the way. We'll see. We'll see how much really changes here in the near future as we kind of unfold and see what more goodies are to come. But for now, we have some board breakers in here, of course, standard hero stuff, and good old Effect Veiler. So we have 1 copy of Denier with 1 Dynatag, 2 copies of Malicious with your 1 Plasma, triple copies of Effect Veiler with your 1 Honest Neos. We have 1 Liquid Soldier with 2 Shadow Mist, triple copies of Stratos with triple copies of Faris. We have 2 copies of Increase and 2 copies of Vion. Then we have triple Hero Lives with triple copies of the Dark Ruler No More. We have triple copies of Fusion Destiny with triple copies of Mass Change. We have 1 Miracle Fusion with 1 Poly. We have 1 Rhoda, and we have 2 copies of the Talents. And then, of course, triple copies of Good Old Infinite Permanence. And then you have the 1 Wonder Driver with your 1 Dread Decimator, 2 copies of Cross Crusader with 2 copies of Dark Law, 1 Anki with 1 Acid, 1 Sunrise with 1 Escurda, 1 Absolute Zero with 1 Dystopia, 1 2 DP, and 1 Dangerous Friend. Then we have triple Lovagle, triple Nibiru, triple copies of Book of Eclipse, triple Dark Hole, and triple copies of Dimensional Barrier here, wrapping up, well, once again, a very interesting chunk of all of the good stuff that we have really seen so far out of the format. So what do you think about these goodies? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I look forward to seeing your beautiful faces back here later on in the day, guys. Stay safe out there, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.